What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the DJ Life Podcast. Air horns.
Oh, dude with glasses.
Dude. Oh, see, this is what happens when you have your volume on your phone on. What's up? Tonight we have the one and only DJ Joe Bunn in the building.
We got a couple people in the chat too already.
The god of the DJ worlds, some might say.
It's the goat emoji of the DJ world.
The goat emoji of the DJ world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I just noticed your shirt. It's interesting.
Oh, yeah. This is Satan's shirt. Whatever.
Of course it is.
Yeah. We work from home. We can wear stuff like this. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah, and then just jump on the podcast.
Yeah, I got my Crocs on too.
Joe, how's everything over in Raleigh? Just right across the I-40, I guess.
That's right, man. We're not far away from each other. I'm good, man. Everything's good. Been, kicking the season off. Took a little Disney trip with my kids for spring break, and then came back and just been gigging ever since. And same till Christmas at this point. So I can't complain, man.
You're gigging a lot because I follow you, of course.
I do, man. I don't necessarily put there went a text blast. Sorry, it really went out. So we'll see if we get a little spike in viewers here. I don't put a limit on the number of shows I personally do, but it always seems to fall around 40, which is not too bad to me. I mean, that's one a week usually, sometimes a couple a week. Every once in a while I have to go out and do, I did a volunteer thing the other night for charity that I'm on the board of. And then the very next night we did this 900 person thing for Microsoft. It's not always weddings for me, and that's kind of what makes it fun still. I think if I was the only weddings, I feel like I would be a little bit burned. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't do the multi-day like Jana and Mike, Walter, where they'll, especially last year when everybody was playing catch up, was it, they were doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Just back to back to back. I can't even wipe my head of the last one so that I don't call Susie Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Those back to backs are hardcore. I try not to do that stuff anymore, man. And I think it's all, price based. It's just trying to operate at the high end so that you don't get booked every weekend. That's my goal. Not that I don't love it. I love it. I want to play, but there are just sometimes I just want to go to the beach or go fishing.
And you even do like exercise events.
I do, usually for swaps, for trades. I'll go play it like F45 just because I like to work out there. So I'll trade a membership, and it's it's normally on a Saturday morning from 8 to 11 or something like that. Yeah. So retail stores, I've done that for trade, for gift certificates or
shoes.
Shoes. Yes, I've definitely played for shoes. I'm not going to lie.
Those shoes you're wearing, that's a full ass trade. I'll give you half a pair. For a DJ gig.
Me and my sons went to a damn sneaker expo Sunday at the convention center here in Raleigh, and it's still mind-boggling to me, like how big of a culture it is. I mean, just aisles and aisles of nothing but shoes, and people walking around trying to sell theirs, trade theirs, and buy this, and I mean, there was definitely some NBA players. I saw Montrezl Harrell from the Hornets there. Like, I mean, it is a whole culture. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, man. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Anyway, this is the DJ Life Podcast. This ain't the damn.
This is how it goes.
This is how it goes, though.
This
is a shoot the shit podcast.
This is a shoot. Yeah, exactly. I think the things we wanted to kind of, because of your expertise, is a lot along the lines of multi-opping / would you call it franchising? What you do?
Yeah, or licensing.
Licensing is your version of it. But this going the step further from owning a multi-op at one location to multiple locations. I would argue you're probably one of the biggest experts in the industry for that.
Look, man, I mean,
he's going to tell you in like 4 sentences because I've asked him 100 times, and his response is always like, it's real easy. I'll tell you in 2 sentences, back to my day.
Let me just circle. Let me give you the same answer. I mean, here's the thing, man. It was, I can't even really take credit for it. You know, the original idea, the original concept was this guy, David Fox, that was working for me, just kind of approached me and was like, hey, man, I have this idea to do what you do. And I was like, well, you got to get out of Raleigh to do that. And he was like, where would you go? And I said, Charleston. And he goes, okay. And, you know, not married at the time. No, I don't even know if he was 30. No kids. And so he could have gone anywhere. We kind of looked at the area, the market, and the next thing you know, he's moved down there and he's kind of off and running. And I've kind of given him the playbook. Listen, man, you know, you're going to need to meet these people. And we threw a big vendor networking party. I remember at a bowling alley, and, you know, we just made like an immediate splash down there. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier, Eric, you know, where you just go into a market and you just go hard. You know, you do all the wedding shows, you put a magazine ad in all the magazines, you throw a vendor party, you have an office space, you're not working out of your house. Like, he just went in and it worked. It worked, man. And it was I don't think there's I know some good Charleston DJs, but at this time, this was probably 6-7 years ago, it was a massacre. I mean, he just went down there and took over. And it was, you know, and that became the catalyst for other people that were working for me, or even had not worked for me in a decade or more, to reach out and say, look, and we see he's doing big things, we want to do it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just a lump sum up front, kind of keys to the kingdom, add them to the website, show them how to book shows on DJ Event Planner. This was way before I knew Erik, and he knew how to supercharge it. But, and then everything that they spend, you know, ad wise or office wise, was their money. And I make just a small percentage back every month. That they just send me their, you know, gross sales. I make a small percentage, and it was never my intention to make it like a super profitable thing. It was almost more rewarding seeing these 5 other people like truly do what we do, like all 3 of us, you know, that being able to do this for a living, you know. And I mean, I never go in and audit their books. I don't sweat them. They'll send me money every month, and it's a nice little pop, but it's nothing earth shattering, you know. It's Disney money or whatever. But man, to like know that these 5 other people now have a career doing this, and that they've built their own staffs, and they've got their own office and their own clients and people that recommend them, that's pretty dope, honestly.
So you would say that, you know, it wasn't your intention to make money, but unlike Paramore, it was your intention to brag.
Wow.
I had to slip it in. I had to slip it in. I know.
What lyric
I was building it.
I didn't know what lyric
I was thinking that for like 3 minutes now. I had to slip it. All right.
What's up, Greg?
What's
up, Denny? Mike, Lou, Jan? What's going on?
Greg in there as always.
Ape.
Yep, that's Greg.
That's Greg.
Saying that's my
my
Greg.
That's my man.
Oh, you have a Greg.
I know.
What's up, Crypto Ape? Do y'all know the Crypto Ape?
I don't.
I might.
I just got distracted.
Oh wait, I think I know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize the logo.
If anyone has questions, throw them in the chat. We'll hopefully notice to circle back if we don't immediately. Well, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. And as you know,
and again, you know, one person led to the next and to the next and to the next. And it's just, you know, and then in the most random twist of fate ever, my sister, you know, being miserable doing this bookkeeping job, I was like, man, you seem to like what you're doing. You know, you've been doing it your whole life. Like, you think we could do that out here? And I was like, yeah. And we tried, and we got, you know, we signed up people, we brought them to Raleigh, we took their picture, we trained them. And I don't think one person ever went out to do a show. They either got flaky leading up to the show, or they weren't responding to my sister in a prompt manner when she would send them a lead. And she called me up one day, and I was like, AD, her name's Ann Davis, but I call her AD. And I was like, you're going to have to go do these shows. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I'm not really a DJ. I'm like, you are now.
Yeah, you're about to.
And
you're gonna learn today.
You're about to jump in. And I went out there, you know, a couple times, and then by the grace of whoever, I got canceled on in June of last year for a big gala that I was doing on the very first show she had been booked on in Wyoming, near there. And I flew out there and we did that first show together. And man, I you know, trained her, but it has to be something in the DNA, because I promise you, I've said maybe a couple like little pointers, but I just was like, I'm gonna stand back here and watch you. Mm-hmm. And if it starts to go south or something, I'll jump in. But she started out, she worked through a few of the, you know, classic wedding hits. It was a younger crowd. I could see it kind of turn the corner, and I was like, she was kind of holding on to the We Are Families and stuff. And I was like, AD, it's time. Like, just these people are past this. Like, go ahead and like give them the bangers. Yeah. And man, she turned the corner. She was a little scared on the mic the first couple times, and I was like, look, you know, louder, like be assertive, you know, like you're in control of this shit. Mm-hmm. And man, I'm telling you, like as I saw videos through the year, because I mean, once that started, she was on a streak. Yeah. She was playing every weekend, loading in the gear. I mean, rocking the parties, loading out the gear. She was like, this shit's hard. And I was like, hell yeah, it's hard. Uh-huh. But their season is so short. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's literally like this weekend might be the first weekend there's not snow on the ground if she's lucky. So they'll play May, June, July. Honestly, about 4 months is about all she'll play.
Damn.
Other than picking up, you know, just a random, she could play like a après ski or like a retail store, but she'll grind hard from May till Montana.
Bozeman. I've actually sent her a zillion leads. We went through a phase for whatever reason on the Nodder Wedding Wire where we were getting Bozeman, Montana leads. And I was like, I don't know anyone in the world why this is happening, but I know a company out there. So I just I even had a template that went to her shit.
She's awesome, man. She's great. So anyway, and so she kind of loves it, man. And she's making great money, and, you know, she's got a little boy and stuff. So I just, whatever reason, it was hard for that kind of ski town to scale up. Those people kind of hit that town, you know, work summers, ski all winter, smoke weed, leave, you know, and anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every market's different. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And cause you're, you know, 1099 DJs and whatnot, the ability to expand in that way was possible, you know. If you had a Byron Gunter model, or like what we used to do, because we actually we've kind of started shifting towards what?
I said, what I do.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Like we were all W-2s, and, you know, I'd find a waiter that was a cool dude and train him from nothing and whatnot. That's just not scalable in that fashion, at least. And Byron scaled the fuck out of it in his area, though. But you can't just like copy and paste it over there, kind of thing.
It just, as well as it worked at all the other offices, it just did not work in Montana. Mm-hmm. It just the staff wasn't there, the personnel wasn't there, and the people that I did know from Montana were in other parts of Montana, which is very spread out. Mm-hmm. You know, they were in Missoula, or they were in blah blah blah. Like I don't
you
know.
Could name the places that it would be a logical location to start a DJ company. Montana's not on that list.
It's not. And and what's crazy about it, though, what's really crazy about Montana or Wyoming, you know, is now this is where like the ultra rich are going to just get away from the LA and the bullshit. You know, what Kanye was living out there for a long time. Like that whole Kid See Ghost album, Kid Cudi and Kanye made out there in Wyoming. Like my sister's son and Justin Timberlake's son go to daycare together. Like it's crazy. Her best friend is Tom Brady and Giselle's personal chef. They live out there a lot of the year. Like it is not like Wild West, like Yellowstone, the show.
Right,
like it is uber rich. I own a freaking ranch here. Like, get out of my face type thing. Yeah. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's cool. It's beautiful out there, but it's cold. Like, I'm cool May through like August, but I don't want to be there in the freaking winter. It sucks.
You miss being a solo op at all?
Man, it has been so long since I did that. I mean, it's probably been 22 years since I really lived that life. No, I don't miss it, man. I really don't. I mean, I was booked every night, you know, doing something. It was, if I wasn't playing in a bar, I was playing at what was called a club back then. If I wasn't doing that, I was playing up, you know, frat party. If I wasn't doing that, I was, you know,
right. It's those seven or more a week, you know. So
it was honestly every night I would try and book something.
Yeah.
And it was the era of the door money was mine and the bar money was the bars. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'd put Erik at the door and I'd say, take $5 from everybody that comes in.
That's billionaire stuff.
I don't give a shit if it's our homeboy. Like, tell him it's still $5. Like, and I'll break you off at the end of the night. Don't rip me off, and just leave every night with just pockets full of $5 bills.
Yeah.
And I did that all up and down Wilmington and Wrightsville, and then I moved here and did it all up and down Hillsborough Street. It was just a different time. Yeah. There weren't 5 DJs in the whole city.
That's
you know
what
I mean?
Said.
It was
My dad used to do the same shit. He'd be like, "You make $700 in a night, but like in 1980 too, so it's like $1,500 now or more." It was a
shitload. Yeah, it was. I mean, I could probably make $1,000 a night in cash. You know, which again, like you said, in today's money, it's $3,000 more. Yeah, and it was just, I would go to those places and walk in and be like, this place sucks. And they'd be like, yeah, well, it's a Tuesday. And I'd be like, yeah, but does that really matter? Like, we can get people in here. Flyers. I mean, no internet. No social media. It was straight up like stapling flyers on those wooden things around campus. Like, that's how we get people to come. Or just literally put them on cars, hand them out on the street. Joe Bunn tonight at the Big Bad Wolf. And people would be like, who? Why? And I'd be like, just show up. It's $5, whatever. You know, it grew from 20 to 50 to 200 people standing in the line down the block on a Tuesday night. Crazy.
Right.
You know, it's funny you that was what you did back then. When I was in college, the most successful form of advertising we did was actually physical flyers going to sorority and fraternity houses.
Yes, that's right.
The day of, just drop a whole stack of flyers on their doorsteps of each single one. That is how I got the most people to come to any of my club nights, was when I went through to every single, just went down the Greek Life row and just went down house to house, dropping a stack of 10 flyers on each one. That actually brought the most people. Like, I did the numbers. I just tested it multiple nights.
Yeah.
It still works to this day.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I DJ'd bars for a long time. The one bar that paid me a percentage of the bar sales or whatever it was, you know, is like based on the success of the night. Not just you get $150 or $250 or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. Was the only night that I successfully promoted and built up. Weird, right? Weird. Right. Yeah. The rest, I was a shoe filler. I don't care if you paid me $300. It doesn't matter because I'm not. Fuck you. Like, you know.
It was, and even still, like, I think that's the hardest thing for me to wrap my head around is in that life. And I've tried to recruit some of those DJs around here, you know, to come work for us, and they're so integrated into that bar life and that $250 a night, which was I mean, again, man, this would have been almost 20 years ago. I know I was getting $250 or $300. I'm like, how is the price still the same? Like, they're like, I don't have to take any gear, and I go, I didn't have to take any gear in 2001. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how can it still be $250 or $300?
Mm-hmm. It's up a little bit. I got a DJ over there he lives in Cary. He DJs on the Glenwood Strip. He told me that he told me most of them are getting 350 to 400, which is still
since COVID.
It's still not that. That's what they did.
It's because no one would want to work, so they had to up the price to get
that's what he told
people
me.
to risk it for the biscuit.
Okay, all right, okay. Well,
but that's still the same ballpark, though. $400 and $300 is the same ballpark.
Yeah, it's still the same ballpark, and I got him.
And you get home at 3 a.m. Like
they love it though.
The latest. Even after I load out every piece of gear I have, I'll get home at maybe 11:30.
They love it for some reason. I don't understand it.
I can't do it anymore.
A couple of my newer dudes, do that to fill in the gaps and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried at first because of that exact mindset of they would rather go do that for $250 through whatever the hell they make than go to a wedding for if I'm going to pay them $700-800, whatever the price for a multi-op payout. But I was worried that they were going to lean the other way just out of, it's cooler, it's easier. I show up with a laptop.
Less hours.
I would try and tell these guys.
Way less hours.
No travel.
Yeah. I would tell these guys, look, you still can go do that show. Quite frankly, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I was booked, 6 to 10 to do a wedding or something, I'd either get somebody to pack my stuff up or come back and get it the next day.
Pay an opener.
And I'd go straight from the wedding. I would take my towel off in the car and put on a damn black T-shirt and walk in there and play a damn club. I mean, if you're that hell bent on it, you can do both.
Yeah, I have a good buddy that does the bookings for a lot of events or a lot of the bars, clubs, and whatnot up in Charlotte. So some of the DJs that he uses are also the wedding guys. So if they don't have weddings, he'll fill their dates with those, and it's like a super good handshake back and forth that way.
I like that.
Yeah.
If you control both, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super convenient because I control the weddings. He controls the bar stuff.
Sure.
And so if I can't fill the dates, he'll just give them gigs and the reverse.
Yeah. And they're happy, right? And they're working on the night. They might be. Yeah, I mean, most people don't want to be off all week. I mean, I don't like to go a long streak and be off. It makes me feel rusty when I come back to it. You know what I mean?
And
like
anxious.
I don't want a long gap between shows. It's a weird feeling. I never want to feel rusty. I always want to feel like ready.
I filled in for one of my DJs. I can't remember the reason, but I went and did a wedding unexpectedly kind of thing. And I hadn't done one in God knows how long before that.
Right. Right.
And oh my God, talk about just energy rush. I was just like, you know what I mean? I was shaking. I was so stoked kind of thing.
Yep. Right. It's
still got it, by the way, y'all. Still got it.
I believe you. I believe you.
YMCA still works.
This is the WAP era. WAP had come out, and that was probably the first time I'd ever played it, and the only time I've ever played it.
Right.
It went off.
Yeah, it's short shelf life, thank God. God bless.
So, Joe, we talk a lot about business on here, or at least we try to. It normally turns into this sort of like bullshit session 9 times out of 10. For people viewing, if they wanted to start a multi-op and you wanted to give them one critical piece of advice in terms of starting a multi-op, what would you say that is?
I think the main thing would be, multi-op is all about scaling, but I think the key is not to scale too fast. You know what I mean? Like, I really, I did a good job of just adding just small numbers of people. You know what I mean? A couple of guys turned into 4 turned to 6, whatever, 6 turns to 8. It was never like, I'm going to hire 20 people or I'm going to bring on 20 people and I'm going to train them. And it was more like I was just doing little hiring runs, or placing ads here and there. And I would get, let's just say 10 people respond. And I might get, if I was lucky, 1 or 2 to stay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it is quality over quantity. Yes, I probably, especially that first 10 years, probably had to turn down shows because we didn't have the personnel, but at least I knew the people I was sending out were qualified. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that we're going to do a good job. I still think you can go either way, as evidenced by, people on here, Mike Walter, and I always hired experienced people and kind of remolded them into the Bunn way. But like you said, I don't think there's anything wrong. And we've seen Mike Walter, up at Elite in New Jersey do 1,000 shows a year, and his motto is go to Chili's on a Friday night and get a margarita with his wife and have a great waiter and whip his card out and be like, hey kid, you'd be a great DJ. Mm-hmm. You're a kick-ass server. You ever thought about being a DJ? Give me a call sometime.
Yeah. And
literally train them from the ground up. The guy doesn't know a XLR cable from an RCA cable. So I think either way works, but if you're going to scale, just take your time, hire the right people instead of just trying to mass hire every Yahoo that responds to the ad, because everybody wants to be a DJ. Everybody's going to respond, especially when you start putting out whatever, in that, like if you put an ad on Indeed where it gives the range of the prices and you're putting whatever 50 to 250 an hour, people are just DJ.
What?
I can DJ.
How can I push buttons? Let me know.
Right. 250 an hour, I'll do anything.
Yeah. You just got to play off Spotify, right? That's all it takes.
Exactly.
There was a period, it was like late 2020, so in the worst of the COVID kind of thing, and all my W-2 people started to quit because they were like, all right, we're going with plan B of whatever their plan B was, kind of thing.
Sure.
And so I started scrambling, of course, because I have all these shows booked and I don't have the DJs. And so I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I was like, all right, train you. It was like, sign up 5 people for training. Hopefully 1, 2 will work out, whatever.
Sure.
None of them. They'd all, because I'd pay them to train, pay them like shit, but whatever, pay them to train.
Right.
And they take the money and run. After going to, some would go to like 10 weddings.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I was like, I got to come up with a different game plan. I have to think about this, and that's really when it clicked about the scaling thing. I was like, well, if I had scaled out in a different method, and so I had to. Jesus, take the wheel on these subs.
Dude, No, I've definitely lost my share of people over the years, and there's definitely been I'm going to bury you, I'm going to be the next Joe Bunn. But I've been super fortunate in that most people stick around a very, very long time, in like decades.
How long has Randy worked for you?
I think we came up with 20 years.
It was
like
your
I
first?
remember he worked at Record Exchange, a actual record store that I used to go in and buy records or CDs from. He was the manager of that for like honestly 10, 12 years. Uh-huh. I'd go in there and buy shit from him. He was playing around here at this place called The Office. It was like a club, and another place called The New Bar. And I saw him play a few times, and I'm like, man, you got to come work for me. And he was kind of just doing his own thing. There was another DJ that was booking him out some. He had this the most raggedy system I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. This carpeted slant top mixer rack with one of those dual drawer. And I was like, bro, you're that good on that. Like, let me show you like what new technology is and whatever it was back then. I think it was like the CDJ 1000s had just come out. And I was like, let me see you play on these. Like, instead of that dual drawer piece of shit with you would like rewind the song. Yeah. Like, and I don't know, after going in there enough and just working on him, he just started working for me. And he and this guy, Greg, that moved here when I moved from Wilmington, were the first 2 guys. And Greg worked probably over 10 years. He got hurt eventually, kind of hurt his back. And then I could just see I could see the light go out. Like he just got burnt out. I think he just took too many shows. But now it's like the beauty of now is this next generation of people or guys that I've been hiring are more like y'all's age, like late 20s, early 30s. They're kind of the next generation. And the guys that are more like 40s that have kids are starting to go into DJ and event planner and go, all right, I'm going to take off 3 of the 4 Saturdays. You know what? And I don't really give a shit, because I've got plenty of people that can kind of take their place. It lets those guys that used to be at the bottom of the roster start to move up. I still get to keep my veterans as long as they tell me that they need, X dates off. it's not really bothering me.
Right.
And I still want them around. People still request them, but I have noticed in the last few years that the veteran guys are verbally telling me, Joe or Randy, book me less. And it's just kind of part of it. I'm okay with it.
So just out of curiosity, Eric probably told me at some point, or you told me, but how does your booking process works in terms of assigning DJs?
Yeah, at the end of the day, Randy is the agent or the showrunner or whatever you want to call it. All the leads go to him, whether it's through email or the phone that I bought to sit at his house. And so this is kind of like, this is the nugget here for like people that are needing somebody to help them with that admin stuff. If you can use somebody in your own camp, in other words, use somebody that's a DJ. Like, I don't pay Randy a lot during the week. I do pay him several $100s every week, right? Just as the admin guy. And he only works half day. I think he starts around 12 or 1 till about 4 or 5. But his contract or his job description is that every call, if he wants it, take it. So if somebody calls for a pool party on a Wednesday, Randy, if you want to take it, take it. So then he's making, he literally is doing 120 shows a year, never got married, never had kids. This is his life. He doesn't get burnout because this is all he's ever known. Yeah. You know what I mean? He never went that path. And so if he wants the show, he can take it. And it might be a $4,000 wedding or a $300 pool party for 2 hours or lunch with the Easter Bunny. Like, that's why you see him in so many different random events, because he has that option. As soon as the phone rings or they agree to the price, do I want to take it? And then it just goes hierarchy. And then has so-and-so asked off. This guy, Mitch, been with me for 12, 15 years. He's just straight up going to tell you, I ain't working this summer. He basically goes to Moorhead. His wife's family has a house down there, and he is worthless to me from May to end of September.
Oh my God.
Till Labor Day. He's just like, Joe, I'm not working this summer. I'll be at the beach.
So he's your October in November.
Yeah, but in October,
as long as you got someone in October.
That's right. He's
that's
I'll
actually
the hammer down. I had to have a talk with a few guys last year because I felt like they blew October off, and I was like, look, man, you can do this almost any time other than October.
Yeah.
Like, because we were on those weekends where we had 12, 13, 14 shows, and we could have done 16, 17, 18.
Right.
Like, we were still turning.
You're giving away
money.
Yeah.
At top dollar, too.
At 3-4K all day.
Yeah.
Like,
top dollar.
Nobody was balking at the price. Nobody was balking, especially last year and especially this year.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to have a come to Jesus meeting and the staff meeting. I was like, look, guys, any month but that, I don't know if that applies to everybody that's watching this, but October is bananas here in the South.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a great month.
It is a great
Typically
month.
May is busy also, but it's half of
Yep.
October.
Yeah.
That's right.
This year, April too, but whatever. Either way.
Yeah.
Eric,
there was a question up here. I'm not really sure what Jeff was referring to with this question, but it was to you, Joe, in terms of out of all of your creations and investment ideas, what are you most proud of?
I think he means between like the DJ's Vault, Bunn Gear, Crate, Hacker.
Yeah, all these kind of projects you've worked on.
I think he's talking about your stab at real estate.
What a horrible job. I can't decide which was the worst job. I don't know if it was cigarettes, Red Bull, or real estate.
Cigarettes.
Really
I can
bad
answer
jobs.
that for you, and it was cigarettes.
Cigarettes is really, really bad.
That is
like,
just
it's a really
low
it's an awful
dog.
job.
Yeah.
It's an awful job. And they paid me so much money because they knew that it was against my entire soul to be there peddling cigs.
Yeah.
All
right. Hey, dog.
Man, I mean, honestly, and this is relevant for today. I think the Vault, because I spent so many years out there on the road, going to these DJ conferences, speaking for free, writing for DJ Times, writing for Mobile Beat, and you only reach whatever, man, 100 people or whatever it is, a few people. But hey, puppy, But I think that the vault, man, like being able to put so much information in it and put that out to the masses, like really was a game changer. You know, not that somebody else couldn't have done it, other people could have done it, but I did it. And then just today, this guy Steve Anderson, he's from like Richmond area, Maryland area. He said, my wife's coming to town. She's got to meet with her boss from Cisco. Do you mind if I come by? I was like, man, stop by. I'd love to meet you. He stopped by, and we told his story before, but you know, he was like, man, I just want to tell you face to face, like, no shit, you're the reason I retired from UPS. He had been there for 25 years, 30 years or something. Yeah. He was like, the knowledge that I've learned over the past 3 years, being a member of the vault and watching webinars and things like this that we're doing, and videos that we've made with Eric or Rick or, you know, Brian B or whoever, literally changed my business and allowed me to quit working that job, which I didn't really like, and to scale up. He's got 6, 8, 10 DJs. He showed me the staff photo. It was unbelievable. Great picture. He was like, man, I mean, he knew. He does. When I say that you can learn stuff and not implement it, that ain't him. He learns it and uses it. You know, he uses my sales stuff. He uses the propaganda that I give out to the couples, you know, like, I mean, he has modeled his shit after mine. And dude, I couldn't be more proud. Mm-hmm. You know, like when he said that, like he looked me in the face and told me that, I'm like, damn, dude, that is the realest shit I've ever heard. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah. It feels good to help people, you know?
And so I would say that's my most, you know, proud thing, is to be able to like truly teach other people, and hear people say stuff like that, whether it changed their business or, then some people say it changed their life. And then you're like, holy, really shit. Like, really? And they're like, yeah, man, dude, I was like, you know, last dollar, or, you know, thinking about quitting, or, you know, and you're just like, wow, man, like this shit, it really worked. It really worked.
Yeah.
So
there's some questions now.
So out of a curiosity, Joe, are you ever going to run out of content to post every month?
I can't believe you're
I
still
can't believe
going
he still
strong,
does it.
Honestly,
I gave him a year and he kept going. I was like, damn.
I can't think of a single topic.
I'll be honest. I'm so it's funny you say that. I think we have. Well, that's not true. I know we have a really good gig log because my guy Jeb, you know, that's always with me shooting. Mm-hmm. He went out with me last weekend, so we shot the video that came out last week about the different cameras. But then we shot a really good gig log, so that'll be out Thursday. And then it's going to go dark. It's not going to go dark. It's going to go to my kind of my favorite out of the 300 or 400 videos in the vault. Those are going to be coming out for a few weeks. And the intro will be different. It'll be like, hey guys, it's Joe Bunn. This is one of my favorite videos from inside the DJ's vault. This is called Marketing to the Recently Engaged. I hope you like it. If you do, there's 300 more videos like it inside the DJ's vault, whatever. And then plug the vault. Because one, I mean, YouTube, as y'all know, is a huge search engine. We've started running ads on there. We've gotten traction now because unlike Facebook, which we also run ads on, YouTube is where people go to learn shit. Yeah. Right. Whereas Facebook, we're just throwing stuff out. Yeah. Did somebody Google the word pioneer? Did somebody Google the word DJing? Okay, well, maybe we can hit them with this Facebook ad. But YouTube, it's like, if somebody types in, I want to learn how to DJ, or Rick Webb, or DJ Bar, like my ad is going to run somewhere in that sphere. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
because
know.
they are specifically going to YouTube. yeah, exactly.
Try being the channel he's targeting.
I bet
videos.
Every single motherfucker listening to this is like, God, I fucking know that shit. Like, I know exactly. I know when Joe Bunn gets a haircut.
I got one today. I keep going shorter and shorter as it goes thinner and thinner. I'm like, I gotta try and just salvage it. And then now I start getting targeted with like, you know, hair loss treatments, or like tattooing. Have you seen that thing where they like tattoo dots?
Have you ever like with my girlfriend? Have you ever like jumped on their profile and like started watching videos? Do it sometime. It's fucking hilarious because I'm like, what are these ads? These are so like I'm like. I'm sitting here like, because like internally, like I see the ads so much that they target us for that I like feel like everyone else is also seeing the same ones.
Sure.
And then I look on her, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, what is this?
It'll link you.
That's
like, because Facebook or whatever has linked me to my fiance. So whatever she is looking at steadily, it'll trickle into my ad spin. Because I see baby shit. Mother's Day shit all the time. You know what I mean? I guess Mother's Day, that's different.
They know when you're in a relationship because you start seeing like the gift ideas and everything, and they start popping up. And
like, I'm not buying no damn gift, but yeah.
What I was actually referring to was the vault. Like, were you going to run out of content to post in the vault? Because every month you keep coming up with more content, and I'm like,
honestly, man, no, because it is. So a lot of it is dictated by the members, hey, or just some, just like y'all, you'll get DMs or text or Instagram. Hey man, have you ever thought of a video about this? And I'll immediately write it down. Like I just have a running list of things. And so honestly, man, I honestly don't think I'll ever run out because there's always people that will name. It's just like the podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast, I might not know until an hour before, like tomorrow morning, I know what we're doing, which is super rare. Normally it's like morning of, I'll be like, scroll through my messages, or I'll get on a Facebook group with DJs in it and be like, oh, this is interesting. This guy brought this up. Like, that's how me and Mike come up with topics.
Yeah. That's
going into 5 years now. Every Wednesday we've recorded that. Like, it just, the members and the listeners, they will tell you what to speak about, even if you've done it before. Sometimes I'll be talking about something on there, and I'm like, "Have we done this before?" And then I'll just be like, "Well, it was so long ago that episode's long buried."
Right. It's time
there's some
recover the topic.
That's like me with some of the videos that, like, the popular videos that I make in the past. The topic changes a little bit from like 2 years ago to this year, but like I can still redo it, and it's still a very popular content, and people want to watch it.
Off. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just it's an updated video of. I mean, some people have entire channels that are just the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. People keep watching it, so
I know.
Give the people what they want. Man.
Dude said, after your DJ started quitting after 10 events, talking about me. Have you found any way? Have you found a way to keep talent? Eric, Rick, Joe, any tips? Just to clarify, those were like people in training. Those weren't DJs yet.
There's also a question below that talks about how do you guys keep your DJs for so long? Most of his DJs either get burnt out or they start their own company.
My tips before Joe gives you the 30 successful years in business tips. I mean, obviously pay them good enough because money is the motivation in the end. There's
still number one.
Yeah, always. Mm-hmm. Set them up for success without micromanaging. No one wants to work for someone that's going to micromanage everything they do. So you got to be kind of a bro and, obviously trust them. They got to do their job, but just let them do their job. And then, and you got to provide for them, and that's gigs. If you can't provide, why wouldn't they go start their own company? I mean, I would, but if you're given 5 shows a year and they can book 5 shows a year themselves, then what's the sense in working for you? It's not necessarily an anti-loyal move. It's just common sense on their
math.
What makes sense financially for them.
Yeah. Are you got any other ones?
That's all I got.
Yeah. My only add-ons to that, he mentioned like giving them like company clothing and company outings and stuff to keep them involved. But my other one, or the one I like doing, is just sitting every one of them down once a year and just like shooting the shit and talking about their life and letting them open up a little bit. A lot of my guys, I'm a little bit further financially ahead in terms of knowing investments and learning about 401ks and stuff that people my age really don't know much about. So offering them advice around that, talking to them about their taxes, and just making sure they're set up for success in life too, because a successful job is only one thing. You also got to have a good life outside of that. So if there's ways I can help them learn, help them with education, or give them tips, etc., that's my only add-on to that. What do you got, Joe?
Man, I wouldn't add much to it as well. I mean, obviously just taking care of people, treating them well, paying them well. I'm a big, creating a kind of a culture. I mean, it's funny, out of all these people that are working just in the Raleigh office, we don't have any females. I get asked that all the time when I post a group picture. We have had some female DJs in the past, and they've, had kids or they've moved to other cities. We've just kind of lost them. And I haven't had any apply in quite some time, but it's really like right now a brotherhood. Like we had our staff meeting last night online. All 18 people were there, which if I had tried to have it in person, it would, even if I said it's mandatory, I probably would have gotten 13, 14. There's 3, 4 that are just, it's not that they're habitual about not coming. Something came up, or,
Conflicts.
My kid is sick, or I got a flat tire, or dog ate my homework, whatever shit.
Yeah.
But last night on Zoom, all 18 of us were there, and it's almost like a fraternity party. Like I have an agenda, I'm running through it, but it's like, and you're seeing all the squares, and it's like Mark and Randy are snapping on each other's moms. Mark's mom's been dead for 20 years. It's so just like demented, and like they're like brothers. You know what I mean? And they've been around, especially these veteran guys, have been around each other 10, 15 years now. But they're also cool to let in the younger guys, and to let them be in on the jugs, or to, every year when we have our holiday dinner, or we go to, the rent out a movie theater, or we go play laser tag or something and we sit there at the end and drink beer and just, we tell the same war stories about. I mean, there was this guy that worked here named Racist Greg. There was this other dude named
What
Ken.
a name.
I mean, it was just...
That's so fucked up, but that's hilarious at the same time.
Because we had 2 Gregs. There was a black guy named Greg and then Racist Greg. Racist Greg didn't,
were they friends?
He didn't last long.
Okay.
They were not friends.
Okay.
They hated each other. It didn't go well. The Racist Greg, he didn't make it long.
That's crazy how that doesn't usually work out for people. Based on the nickname, I could assume certain details.
God bless, man. We tell the same stories every Christmas, and it's just, so creating that culture. And at the end of the day, man, people want to work for the best. People want to work for Rick Webb. Rick Webb is a freaking YouTube star. People want to work for Dow Oak because they do hundreds of weddings. They are known. People want to work for Bunn.
He's the guy in glasses.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to work for who they think is the best. And the beauty of North Carolina, and especially Raleigh, is look on any top 10 list of places to move in the country. I don't care if it's in Forbes magazine or Entrepreneur magazine, we're on it. And so every time somebody's wife gets a job here and they pick up, move here, or somebody's fiance moves here, or somebody just is looking for a warmer climate and moves here, what do? They Google Raleigh DJs, and we're hiring. Like I just say, I don't care if we're not, we're hiring. And they want to come work here. You know what I mean? And that's the best candidate, because I don't want them to start their own stuff. I want them to come work for us.
Right. At least if, you can at least squeeze them for 3 years. 2 years is great.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll take them.
Right. I'm starting to realize the math behind all that stuff, so I know what I need out of someone and what's worth it and what's the investment and whatnot.
How long do they need to stay? Right.
Some dude, what got you into DJing? What inspired you? Who'd you look to when you were younger? Who'd you want to be? Everyone thinks that my dad got me into DJing.
He did.
He did. Because my dad was remix dude, Ultimix dude.
Totally
that's
did.
right.
But
Yeah, that's
honestly,
right.
me and my dad
I always forget that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so old news. But honestly, me and my dad weren't even like buddies at all because I was in such a drug phase starting in like when I was 15 until I was 23 or 24. And I was like the black sheep, period, like kicked out constantly. and I was smoking weed, chilling, doing drugs with my friends in like a trap house, and we watched a DJ Craze video on YouTube of him on these gold turntables doing a Millie tractor DJ Ragosa set. You know what I mean? Some crazy what the fuck? Sure. And I was like, bro. And my cousin played the drums for Chris Daughtry, right? So he was like loaded at the time off of music stuff, and and we were talking, and he just bought me a pair of turntables, and I was like, you know, so I was like, let's go. I'm definitely the dad DJ thing. I'm not following in your footsteps. That's the last thing Erik Massengale will ever do is follow some footsteps. But the second it's my idea, all right, we can go now. You know what I mean? I practice for 12 to 20 hours nonstop every day. There were things I was doing to keep me up for that long at the time. Sure. I got good real fucking fast. You know what I mean? Just totally obsessed ever since. You know, and then I met Matt Butterworth one time. He like shoehorned his way into my apartment and stayed the night. I didn't even know him, and it was like his friend was on my Facebook or something. He's like, you can stay at this dude's house, and he was DJing at a strip club, and he told me how much money he was making at a wedding the following weekend, and that was where it all began.
Light bulb, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's just I forget about that Ultimate story. That's always a good little refresher reminder. Yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting, you know, for somebody. You know, my kids are 17 and 14, really have no interest in it. Neither of my parents were musicians. They're just DJ music Colin lovers. He was good. He was into it when he was about 13. Now he's 17, and and even when he was 13, he was getting booked by kids that were the same age, you know, these little girls that were having these birthday parties at that time. And I'd have to do all the prep, and I'd have to drive him there, and I'd have to set up the gear with him and put the playlist together. And he was really just channel fading in and out. I was like, man, at the time I had a full studio at the house. I'm like, you could have walked in there this week and at least like tried to learn to blend, because I've showed you about 30,000 times.
Right.
Like it's all just set up, like studio monitors, the entire, like a piece of furniture, like the gear just stayed there. And it was just, he didn't touch it. And I was like, man, if you don't have any passion for it, I'm not mad at you, you know, do your thing, man. Like my dad wasn't a DJ. I just, you know, he loved music. I love music. You know, it became my life, but you know, he's got another path, and he's creative in other ways. He's a fashion.
I was about to say, guy, he's the one that's got the fashion thing going, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to go to school next year somewhere that makes clothes or something like that. He's creative that way. Yeah. His mind works a little differently than mine.
Cool.
Well,
yeah.
What, my starting?
Go.
Mine
from the top.
Mine's very simple. Well, always like music. I was always the go-to person in football or like at the weight room lifting that actually had music that was clean, because I knew how to get music through LimeWire and all the other sources and whatnot and bullshit like that at the time. And I was the one that was able to put music on MP3 players. I was just tech savvy, and that led me into music. But the DJ side of thing didn't turn into anything until I just kind of realized how shitty our middle school DJs were. And I'm like, I can do better than that. I can make a better mix than that. I can play music better than this. I know how to play better. And at the time, or not at the time, but that's kind of what started me on the whole music track. And I just was around music a lot. But I joined the thing that really transitioned me, because I got like a little baby controller, just playing some music and stuff. It was actually a friend at the time pitched me on the idea of like he wanted to MC, and because he had like an announcer voice thing he did, so he wanted to MC. I knew the music, so he approached me on doing some like birthday parties at the time, 13, 15, I don't even remember what they were. And then what really snowballed the DJ side was I joined catering. My neighbor was the head of the biggest catering company in southeastern Ohio, doing anywhere from 1 to 6 weddings in a single Saturday, catering staff out. So I I quickly ran through the ranks and became a manager in that. Like, I was ahead, and every single weekend I was seeing a wedding and seeing, coincidentally, a wedding DJ. And I was just so underwhelmed. We're in a very rural area, not much going on there. Just how crappy all the DJs were, and just seeing the faces, and like I couldn't help but be like, I can do way better than this.
I gotta do better, right?
And then
no DJ says that.
Yeah, and then well, I'm a young teenager too, so I'm cocky as fuck.
Right.
It's like you were born a DJ.
I learned the two or three good ones though in the area, and I stumbled across Chris, who ran the biggest DJ company in the area, and he had like 3 DJs, and they were all good DJs, and himself, he was a good DJ, had good equipment, like he had all the like googly eye gear equipment because he was a big gearhead. He just bought whatever the hell he wanted.
Sure.
So he had all the big subs and the music. So I approached him, and basically was like, "Yo, this is cool. Can I like learn from you and shadow and whatnot?" So I would actually learn while doing catering. So I would strictly pick, because I was like third in command. So I would like pick my weddings that one of his DJs was at, and go and kind of. I was the head of the venue of the event, so I kind of could sneak away and just go watch a little bit and learn. And then I started my own company, and a lot of me starting my own DJing was learning from Brian S. Red, learning from
Videos.
You didn't really have much content at the time.
I didn't.
It was Brian S. Red. It was Mikey B.
Posh.
No.
Yeah, Posh.
No,
Okay.
Mikey.
Different Mikey B.
DJ Mikey Mike. Not Mikey B. DJ Mikey Mike.
Okay.
He's out. He doesn't do anything. You don't see him anymore. But Brian S. Red and Disc Jockey News.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know you're going to see
Disc Jockey News,
John Young, Disc Jockey News.
A lot of it was Brian. Brian was like hot on content back in like when would that have been, like 2011, 2012, when I was watching that stuff, learning everything.
Does he still put out a video every week?
Oh, still does. Multiple videos a week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just him sitting there talking, but yeah.
Sure, right.
But yeah, so I learned from him, and then I built my own little kind of company up, and then I don't know why I never offered to work for Chris, but he actually approached me. He's like, "You should just work for me."
Yeah.
And I started working for him, and man, that was a kick in the face, because I was doing like 1 or 2 a month, and then he's like, "Yeah, come work for me," and then like they shot me like 30 events, 30 weddings the first year.
Right.
I was like, "Damn, okay, this is crazy."
Right. And then when did the channel start?
The channel
Right before you moved here?
The channel started in terms of like posting regular. The YouTube channel is a different background. I always was in YouTube. Even like early middle school, I was making like compilation videos of like sports highlights, and then I went into like trick shot videos and all the like big things you saw online. I tried to make them. Sure. I had like a tech channel for a little while where I reviewed some tech, and along the tech reviews, I made some videos that were just of DJ speakers and stuff, doing tech reviews with that. And then I was filming content for weddings to post, so I could show people how I am as a DJ.
That's right. I remember that.
I was just doing highlight reels of shit. Sure. And then the DJ things took off. The like speaker reviews, they took off, got a lot of views relative. And Casey Neistat and some of the vlogging took off, and I was like, well, I'm just going to vlog my day as a DJ. And then that's kind of where the gig log thing came from. I think
it really is, man.
And
it was until you and a bunch of other people. I never even thought to do it, or I didn't even really watch them. You know what I mean?
It was weird.
I mean, my generation is just so different. Like even now, like people are so mind blown that I'm like, I don't watch YouTube. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just don't. I don't watch YouTube. I don't even watch my own stuff. And they're like, what about podcasts? I don't listen to podcasts. Well, what do you mean? I was like, I've never listened to mine. I don't listen to anybody's. Like, people are just, and unless it's like a specific episode, somebody will send me and be like, oh, listen to this story that Spider told about DJing for Blink 182. And I might, catch an episode, but it's very weird, man. And I think it's because I spend so much time creating content that I don't ever have time to consume it. or I don't want to copy other people's shit or regurgitate it.
So what do you watch?
Like,
do you watch
you
like
mean
Netflix?
for entertainment?
Yeah, like what do you watch?
Do.
Netflix
shows.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just finished Yellowstone last night. I love
that
show, Ozark. I got to start watching that.
I think a lot of YouTubers are like that though. Like I don't watch my own videos. I rarely watch Bars or J-Book. I don't really watch any of the guys that create kind of along that lines. I don't watch really any of your videos either. It's just like
you don't hurt my feelings.
I'll
catch yours like if it's
like if I'm very curious like what I see, you know.
Right.
Alexa, studio on. Like if I saw the video you made with the Cold Spark. I saw you posted the Cold Sparks ones. I'm like instantly like, all right, what do you have to say? Because I sell these things too.
yeah. And I still won't shoot them inside. I'm still like adamantly not shooting them inside.
Venues are cracking down on those.
On a side note, if I can explain to you why that went off, and it actually wasn't the fire alarm in your building, because I had a venue that had the same thing. It wasn't the fire alarm.
Well,
it was a fire alarm, but it was not the building's fire system.
No, there isn't one there because that building's over 100 years old. It was literally like the kind where like. You jump like
it's the combo CO2. It's the CO2 combo with the fire ones.
This thing did nothing other than just go beep beep beep.
I had a venue too that did it. It's all in the detector itself. Those cheap house ones, they just look for particles, and those things produce particles.
Right. Yes, they do. Anyway,
side topic.
So different topic for a different night.
I went and bought the big $800 fire extinguisher that's required for them. And we instantly got on the list for like 5 different venues for approval. So because we have it. So
Bella Colina.
I'm familiar.
That you have to bring a fire marshal. You have to follow the official.
Ooh.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It's like that status. In any venue owned by, because they're in a group.
But I really don't care to DJ at that venue.
Well, you can't anyways, because they're one of those.
Yeah, they're in-house only.
With a package.
They have the package.
There's a venue switching to that, and I emailed them and I was like, so are you switching to that? Because we push y'all really hard, and this is gonna. It's actually a bad thing if people book you then for us, you know, that
we've been
make $1 off of every venue set up or every vendor you have set up. Not a fan.
I don't like that. Castle does that. Castle.
Yeah,
McCulloch.
that's right. I remember that place. Yeah, I haven't played that.
They give them back a refund if they book someone on their list.
Really?
But also they don't allow any fucking thing. You can't put tape in their venue. It's on their list that you can't use tape. And I asked them the first time I was there, I was like, why can't you use tape? Because someone used duct tape, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, what about gaff tape? They're like, it's the same thing. It's like,
it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
But also their owner is like 70 something years old, and I just don't.
They don't get it.
They don't.
I think I went to that place one time.
I have put gaff tape on the floor before, and it was a painted cement floor. You know how they try and cheap out, and it ripped that fucking paint right off. Gaff tape.
I have done that.
And I just like look around and
you're like
ball that shit up.
I wasn't here. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Where's the nearest rug? Drag it over.
Right. Yeah. It has happened. That definitely happens.
Probably should wrap it.
I mean, we've done an hour now, but this is a good ending point. Let's glance real quick, see if there's any good questions.
We'll glance. Not that your questions aren't good, but
there's a question for you, Eric. How did you get suspended from Facebook?
Fuck you, Aaron.
How'd you get? I'm losing motivation with DJing. How do you guys stay motivated? Just the for real, man.
I straight up don't really like. I mean, I do like DJing very rarely, but I realize that I am addicted to the business of DJing.
That's right.
And I don't care to actually do the events as much as I like DJing. I like the business side of it. So just got to find what you like about DJing. And lean into that.
I would argue the gear's
mine. I'm a big less shows for more money.
Mm-hmm.
You just play less shows and just charge a lot more money. You know what I mean? Like
my boy's addicted to the binges. That's what he's saying.
Yep.
He's
Less shows, more money.
Yeah.
Well,
The back stuff is not. You're not charging enough if you're getting booked like that.
You enjoy it more too. I would argue because
Yeah.
as I've started to raise my prices over the last year and make mine the highest in the company, and all that, I physically enjoy the night way more when it's at a higher price point. I don't know. I feel like they appreciate what I'm about to bring to the table.
It's a different type of client. That's for fucking sure.
It's a different type of client.
That's also
true. It's a different type of show. It's a different type of experience for the client. And when you scale up and you're able to still send out somebody that's going to do a good job, that's a great feeling as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave Saturday and I'm going to be gone till next Saturday, and I'm going to be on a boat the whole time this week. I might call home once to check on Randy. I know that all the shows we do on both those Saturdays are going to be handled. If they're not, they'll figure it out. Like, I don't worry about the company. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll be out there fishing. You ain't going to be able to reach me. I'm going to be on a boat, dog. And so if you can get to that phase or that status of your business where you've hired the right people and you've trained them and you don't have to do all the shows anymore, it is beautiful, man. It is. I mean, listen, everybody's got problems. I've got problems, personal problems, things like that, but I don't have financial problems, staff problems, one DJ company problems. Like, it's very rare that something, knock on wood, comes up that is not good. And it's because of those guys. I mean, the staff is phenomenal. They know what to do. They know what to do if something catastrophically goes wrong, and they especially know not to be calling me about it. Because I'm doing my own damn show or I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, FIFO, figure it the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's all the good things.
But again, man, raising your price and doing less shows will I mean, I know that sounds like a super easy answer to a very complicated question, but it has prevented me from ever getting burnt out, because I don't do that many shows anymore. And the ones I do, I'm actually still excited to put on that suit and go do it, and I hope to never lose that feeling. And when I do, I'll step back and just run the company, or teach other people about DJ shit, because I don't want to ever be that guy that's out there phoning it in or pissed off that I have to be there. And we've all missed stuff. Everybody on this has missed major life moments because of what we do. And I'm not, it sucks sometimes. But I don't ever want to be the guy out there that's bitter about it, that's pissed off I'm there, creating this memory for this couple instead of being at the blah, blah, blah football game, or so-and-so's wedding, it's just, it is what it is, man. And but I will say burnout's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Charge more, do less. Especially if you're known in your area, man, you'll still get the shows. And if you have to explain yourself, just tell them, look, I'm very exclusive. I only take a certain number of shows a year. I'd love to work for you, but this is my price point, and it's unwavering.
Learn to enjoy the word no.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
We're just not going to work out. We're just not a good fit.
Yeah. I mean, I Randy calls me and he'll go, okay, this girl wants you on this date. I'll say, where am I the day before? Okay. Where am I the day after? Okay. Is she, minimum 4,000? Yes. Cool. Lock it in. And now it's gotten to the point where I don't even have to meet with these people anymore. Like, it's just send a contract. Okay. I mean, it's a different world out there post COVID.
Yeah.
I would love to tell you people come back and see my cool office, but they don't. They, even last night I was telling the guys, and guys, look, if you want to keep doing Zoom meetings, do Zoom meetings. If you can get people to come to the office and see the little studio and see the uplights and, watch the projector, presentation, I'd love it. And we have not seen people in quite a while face to face.
If anything, they want to meet you at the venue. That's about it. They want you to come see their venue.
I've done a few of those. Yeah, I've done a few of those.
That's about it.
I'm very lucky, unless it's brand new. I've played there 47 times. Unless it's brand new, I can't say that. But most of the time, I'm like, I literally play there all the time.
Right.
I'm good.
If people even want to Zoom with us, because we'll call you. But if they're like, oh, well, can we do a Zoom? It's literally like, you're going to be a red flag, aren't you? We're like already like,
it's crazy.
I don't know about that.
Cool. Well, I don't really see much left on here other than what actually pisses off Erik, which basically don't try and fuck him over. That's all I could say for that
I'm
one.
a bro. Once you get to know me, I'm a bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, I have a loud, sarcastic mouth, but that's.
I think that
I'm not
question pissed him off.
Actually, a dick.
I think that question pissed him off.
Yeah. Other than you, whoever fucking said that, other than
Ernie.
what you just said, I know. I read it.
Oh, it's Ernie. He's fucking ball. Erik's actually cool. You have to know him.
On this podcast, I'm the dude with glasses. For whatever reason, no one knows who I am on this podcast.
That was bars. That was bars. It was like our second podcast, and some dude said, "Ed, will the dude in glasses just shut up and let Bar talk?"
I was like, "Fuck, okay."
And so from now on, he's just the dude in glasses.
The dude with glasses. I get it. Okay, it's the inside thing.
All right.
No, man. If you guys ever get to meet Erik in real life at a conference or something, he's cool.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I deal with this dude every single day. I brought him out to a wedding just a few months, like a month ago.
Relationship between me and him, because I was like a lot of people, fuck this guy, and then I was like, are you really friends with him? And Webb's like, yeah, man, he's just, he's an interesting cat. I'm like, all right, man, we'll just.
I was friends with him well before he became the Facebook pirate personality of the DJ world. I don't know what you want to call him, the band pirate of the Facebook DJ world. I don't know.
The king of trolls, the troll king.
Yeah. But anyways, Joe, it was great having you on this evening. Man. Thanks so much for taking the time to join in and share the knowledge of all of us.
Everybody, thank y'all.
Yeah,
for being on,
big viewership tonight.
Thanks, man. The text blast worked.
The Joe Bunn crew in the building.
Cool.
Thanks,
with the Vault guys. But
thanks,
anyway,
Erik. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, everybody watching.
All right.
Absolutely, guys.
Drop his channels. Drop his.
Follow Joe on every source he's got. If you're not a member of the Vault, join the Vault, Crate Hackers, all that. Get yourself a command center if they're available. I don't think they are, but coming soon.
I just got the prototype today from a new manufacturer. So it's happening again.
Ooh.
We're back in the game.
Back in the game. But anyways, guys, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I was going to pull up and see who the next guest is. Did you already see who that was? I don't even know who we have in next coming.
Nick Spinelli.
Oh, yeah, it's Nick. Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. So coincidentally, actually, I'm on Nick's podcast in the morning Tuesday, and Nick's on our podcast in the evening.
That night?
Yeah. So you'll be seeing me and Nick a lot Tuesday in 2 weeks. So anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, and that's when we will start doing weekly podcasts for a little while.
Sounds good.
Anyways, guys, peace out.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.